Welcome to Alumni Diaries, where we bring back our proud alumni to share their journey and experience and to cherish those memories where they studied. Right. So we have with us Mr. Subramanian, who studied at SEMCOM in 1999, and he has come from UK after 15 years. So let us talk to him.
Yes, sir.
So, Subramaniam, welcome to the land of education once again. And could you please tell us about your journey since graduating from your alma mater, SEMCOM?
First and foremost, sir, thank you so much for having me. Continues to be a pleasure talking to you. I think I'll probably go a little further back in time, give you a little sense of how did I land up in SEMCOM in the first place. So out and out, a proud, if I may say so, citizen of Anand. Grew up here all through. Did my education with a tiny education institute called Bosch Vigar. Then went into IB Patel for 1 year, and then eventually landed up in SEMCOM, in the famed halls of SEMCOM, if I may say so. I joined SEMCOM in 1999 by sheer luck. Sheer luck. I was all set to join BJVM. I had given the BBA exam there, but this is a story that I continue to say to every person I meet, that all my friends were joining SEMCOM, this institute called SEMCOM, and I knew very little about this institute, quite honestly. But because my friends were joining, I landed up in SEMCOM. I wanted to join the BBA program, but I was told that the entrance exam, everything was done, and the only seats available were BCom seats. And if my memory serves me right, there were about 2-3 seats available. So very quickly took the form, filled it up without the knowledge of my parents. But I wanted to join, gave a call to my dad. My father, he used to work for IRMA, so he very kindly came down to SEMCOM. We went into Mr. Shri Dr. Nikhil Zaveri's office. The fees back then was about 12,000 odd rupees, which was a huge sum back then. And my father was in his very simplistic form, filled up a letter and handed it over to Nikhil Zaveri sir, saying, you know what, my son wants to join your institute, but I don't have the money. We don't have the money to pay. Is it okay if we pay this in installments? And Nikhil Zaveri sir very kindly agreed. He's like, please go ahead. And that's how the story started. I was very fortunate to finish my graduation there. Started with the PG as well. I finished that for 1 year, and I got a call from GE. That another is a story for another day. But back in the day, there was a sir called Sunny sir, and every Thursday there used to be these advertisements that used to come in class fields, and there was a opening with GE, General Electric, and they were doing these interviews in Ahmedabad. I didn't read anything further than that. They were only asking for postgraduates, but here I was. I went to Sunny sir and I said, sir, he's like, go if you want to go. So without the knowledge of my parents, I didn't even have a bike. I used to cycle. So I took a bike from a friend of mine, borrowed 75 rupees. Back then petrol was about 40. So put that thing, went to Ahmedabad on a fateful Monday morning. And by about 10:30 in the night, I had the offer letter in my hand. I come down next day, and the salary that G offered me was more than what my father was making.
Now, if you have to describe SEMCOM in one sentence, how would you describe?
So I think it goes back to the classes. It goes back to the professors, and I think what makes or breaks a core memory is the kind of people you get associated with. And I think when I say a core memory, these are things that stick with you. The economic classes that we had with Dr. Sunny sir, Vaida man, is so fresh. And my love for economics actually started from those classes. I've had countless, I wouldn't want to call it arguments, but economic arguments with Sunny sir, with Vaida man. The countless hours that we spent in the computer labs, thanks to gentlemen like yourselves. and then the entire atmosphere that was created, which was so different and so ahead of its time, like the best business idea competition. I still have a photograph from those years with Dushyant and Gunjan, all my classmates, right next to me, with Zaveri sir asking me questions, and the we defending our best business idea, which, if I look back, was was so silly. But hey, that were the fable grounds on which my career is standing up today. So I think collectively everything that we learned because of the strong professors that we had, and the environment, the conducive environment that was set up by somebody like Dr. Zaveri sir, is something that I would always cherish. And if you would ask me the same question about 20 years ago when I was a fresh, 25 years ago when I was a fresh pass out, I would probably say bunking the class, sitting in the back bench, all of that were the sweetest memories. Those were memories, but I think today I've got the luxury of experience, and I think what I thought was not so important is today probably the most important. Is those dialogues, those countless hours spent reading on books. Some were compelled, some were forced, but today I think I recall those with a lot of fondness.
Special message you would like to share to your batchmates?
Oh yes. Again, I'm going to take a very two step approach to the answer, sir. One is going to be a little philosophical in nature. The other one has to be practical. I think on the philosophical side of things, you typically encounter people who leave a very profound impact on your life, just because of where you were in that particular moment in life and what they've done. Those people will probably never understand those emotions, because those emotions were created in your head and it continues to be in your psyche. It's like a database, right? So that emotion always sticks. So when you take somebody's name, that emotion follows that particular person. So to those batchmates who truly helped, because there are those chapters in somebody's lives where these are batchmates who did the most phenomenal things, whether it is buying you a plate of pani puri when you didn't have a penny in your pocket, to the folks who left a very big impact because of certain statements that people made, because of the situation that you were on that particular day, moment, minute, so on and so forth. But I think in practical terms, life has a way of creating an upswing and keeping you there, and then there will come moments in life where you will plateau out. It will saturate. So I think, and as I keep telling my kids as well, I think there are certain fundamental traits and attributes that people have to carry. And to those batchmates, I say thank you. And to those batchmates who gave me the lessons, thank you to them as well. Because through that, you realize there are certain people in your life who do not come because of the state you are in, but because the situation that you are in. So there is a difference between the state and situation. So I think those are the kind of people I'm meeting tomorrow, because they stuck around when you are a nobody, and they're still there because you are a somebody, but you are a friend to them.
Yes.
And to those batchmates who have created values and systems, because there are a few who've done best. If I were to draw inference with the current crop of students there, all I can tell them is, don't worry. If I can make it, they can definitely make it.
So I still remember when, discussion and deliberations, whether you were always ahead. How do you take it?
How do I take it, sir? I think it again stems from a very simple fact of how my father used to approach a lot of things, sir. I'll give you a very simple example. I always would read newspapers, sir. I still do. But there was this one particular instance where I requested my father to have newspapers delivered to our house. in the campus, Irma campus that we grew. And my father made a very simple statement. He's like, I'm not going to get you any newspapers. You have a huge library. Go and sit and read. And that became the place to be. And what I've learned very early on is communication probably is the only way that can take you places. You might have the knowledge in your head, but if you're not able to translate and if there's no connection between your brain and your mouth, that knowledge carries no power. And I learned it very early on. And by God's grace, because of all the books and the newspapers and everything that came in between, that is what helped me crack the interview in G. And that gave me the ammunition to say this probably is the one single trait that will differentiate me. Because quite honestly, I didn't come from the IITs or the IIMs. I didn't have anything special to offer. What I had is what I could make of. And what I had was probably a little upper hand when it came to communication. And I think places like SEMCOM and then the foundation that, say, Anandala Angel laid out, just to be brutally honest, I scored the highest in CBSE when it came to English, but I barely passed when it came to maths. But I used it to my advantage, and that's what it's helping me even today. So I think if you're able to see, experience, translate, infer, and relate back an information, I think that resonates. So if you're in US and if you're able to laugh at a blonde joke and crack a comeback, you have your customer. Similarly, if you're in a geography like UK, where the humor is dry, because even today, your business relationships are largely driven by humans. And if you're able to touch that chord, you know what, there is a recall factor. There is touchiness, there is stickiness that gets created. And I think that is what has helped a lot of the eminent speakers out there. The reason why people listen to a few people is not because of what they say, it's because of how they say it.
Correct.
And I think that's where the difference lies, if I may to say.
Yeah. So I see a huge difference, the Subramanian which I used to knowing way back in 1999 and the Subramanian today.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. That is great.
So please tell us something about your current position and the role and responsibilities you carry.
So what I do today, sir, is directly proportionate to what I've been doing all these years. Philosophically speaking, all of us are products of circumstances. So when I graduated, when I finished my my student life, India was on the high on ITES, which is IT enabled services. The advent of back office, India becoming the services capital of the world. A lot of us actually rode that wave, whether it was IT, whether it is commerce, as the stream was called back then. So I joined in a domain which is now popularly called as banking, financial solutions, and insurance. I started off from ground zero, where I was a process associate, which is where you start. But what worked in my favor was, I think I was very inquisitive. I was always somebody who ended up not questioning, but I was very vocal about a lot of things. But I remained very committed to BFSI, because very early on I realized that there are certain industry verticals which are evergreen. Technology can come, but you would always need a bank. Technology can come, but you'll always need an insurance. So very quickly, again, because of certain great managers that I worked with, I had a great stint doing front delivery in BFSI, managing certain banks, certain financial services companies, and insurance. And then I rode that wave very smartly, I would say. But again, the companies were setting up shops, companies like JP Morgan, Unilever, State Street, they were all coming to India because India was trying to become the services capital and China was the manufacturing capital. That's how it happened. So I started off doing that, which is delivery, hardcore operations, but then very quickly moved into something which is called as capability / pre-sales, which is the first phase of generating sales for the front end sales, which is sales support. So I did that for many years for a lot of banks, both in the States and in India as well. And that led me to moving back into the services industry by championing it with organizations such as TCS. So I was with them for the longest, for about 14 years. And what that culminated into was managing sales and then sales and business development for a specific geography. So I joined TCS, and very soon I was given the option of moving either to US or to UK. We always wanted to come back to India and settle down. Never happened. So UK is what I chose, and this was many years ago. So I used to manage a specific geography, which is UK and Ireland, managing the software sales, business development, and delivery. And very recently, I moved into a much senior role in a company which is very similar to TCS, which was called Tech Mahindra. TechM is exactly where a TCS was about 50 years ago. They are on the up from a sales and organization standpoint, and I lead the sales efforts for banking, financial solutions, and insurance for Europe. Basically, sell software, sell services, create ODCs or offshore delivery centers back in India, in Europe, and we do a lot of bespoke ADMS services, software development services, cloud, AI, data analytics, and all of that clubbed together is the portfolio that I manage today.
In the era of this cyber physical systems, Industrial Revolution 4.0, youngsters spend a lot of time on screen. Now again, it's a debatable question whether they really make use of this screen time for their learning or not. But what message would you like to share to these youngsters?
I think my advice to the new crop of future citizens who are coming up is, without you even realizing, you're unknowingly creating a brand value for yourself through the digital footprint that you're leaving. And if you're cognizant enough, smart enough to realize that these are your foundation years, and it is absolutely, the right word is pivotal, that you are very careful of the footprint that you're leaving, is because, for want of a better word, it can actually come back to bite you. Because the minute you create a powerful CV, and that's just half of the battle won. Back in the day, a powerful CV followed by a group discussion, followed by a written exam, followed by an interview will hopefully get you an offer letter. Today, there's bit more to that. There is actually a team of people. In addition to doing a background check, they also do a background check on the digital signature that you have left.
Correct.
And if that's not healthy, in my role, those reports come to me as well, to the hiring managers, and then it comes to the management review. We don't hire such people. We don't, is because the last thing you want is the law being questioned in form of the kind of people you're hiring. So I think it is absolutely pivotal and important for these upcoming future citizens to realize that they need to be very careful in the post that they like, in the post that they post, and what comments do they put, even in the dark rooms or the dark web, as it is called. It's because everything can be tracked, and once it is there for eternity. So I think that's the advice I give to my own kids, that if you're using it productively, there are tracking mechanisms even for parents. We track what our kids do, and it is equally important for educational institutions as well to ensure those tracking mechanisms are there. I think, sir, if I were to draw some parallels with I'm going to take the risk of calling my generation and this generation. I think when we started off in college, internet was also slowly coming in. we started spending a lot of time on computers, not knowing what internet is. Back in the day, when you would take classes on HTTPS, HTML, we were still trying to infer what this thing is, because the connectivity became so easy. People back then were spending a lot of time on chat windows. Kids today spend a lot of time on games. But what is different today is there is an audit trail. There is a mechanism in which everything that you do leaves a footprint. And what organizations like us do, if we were to hire somebody from the market, whether it is gaming, whether it is your presence on social media, everything can be tied back through a sentiment analysis. There are organizations which track this. So my very sincere advice to a lot of the youngsters who are coming up is you've got to create a digital brand value for yourself, and unfortunately, undoingly, you're already doing it.
How does it feel coming back to SEMCOM after so many years from all the way from UK?
I think it just feels nostalgic. It just feels like coming back home. So when I drove in, you always get back, and we have the luxury of hindsight. But it also keeps you very grounded. So it's the same place. It's just that situations have changed. When you are a student, there are a few challenges that each of us go through. But out here, it was a complete privilege to kind of have my family with me, instead of a cycle, having a car, instead of a bus stand, landing in an airport. All this kind of keeps you grounded, because you don't start off big. You start off with very humble beginnings, and you can only say, I would at least say that it has been a roller coaster ride, but it feels nice to be back, especially go to the same classrooms that I had the good fortune of attending with yourselves.
Yeah.
There are a few people who have molded your life, and I think I take a lot of pride in saying, if I look back at my academic life, I think the fondest memories are from SEMCOM, and I truly mean it. My fondest memories.
Okay. Yeah. So Subbu, it was a pleasure talking to you, and our best wishes with you all the time. Keep coming to your alma mater whenever you find time. Thank you.
Absolutely, sir. The pleasure is all mine. Always available, sir. And I can't even begin to express the sheer gratitude for everything that you did for us. And I probably would carry this in the fondest of my memory database, that instead of a Viva, I'm actually having this conversation with you. So thank you so much for taking the time to actually not only have me here, but also my family. Means a lot. Means absolutely a lot. Thank you, sir.
Pleasure.